Usually when you bring up the word insurance in a conversation, people either try to change the subject or they simply tune you out. Well, today I'm going to talk about insurance, but I have to warn you, don't tune me out, because if you do, it could end up costing you thousands of dollars. Hi, I'm Sharon from Sharon@Sea Travel, and today I'm going to answer all of your questions about travel insurance. So let's get started. Planning for travel, either on your own or with the entire family, can be incredibly stressful. One thing that can help relieve the stress is hoping for the best, but being prepared for the worst. While at home, it's easy to be prepared for the worst, but when traveling, whether it's on a cruise ship or any type of travel, particularly travel out of the country, sometimes being prepared takes a backseat to all of the other planning. One thing that can help you be prepared for anything is knowing that you have travel insurance. While travel insurance cannot prevent mishaps from occurring, it can reduce the burden of unexpected medical expenses and the cost of additional travel arrangements that need to be made and taken care of with very little notice. No one plans for travel delays and cancellations, unexpected injuries or illnesses, missing a flight, or even worse, missing your cruise ship, emergencies back home. I mean, the list could go on and on. But these things can happen, and if they do, the right travel insurance can save the day. In my opinion, it's essential to have travel insurance for every trip because you never know what might happen when you're traveling away from home. I always have travel insurance for when my family travels on cruises, and I will almost always recommend it to my clients as well. First, let me give you 6 reasons why it's important to have travel insurance, and then I will go into the different types of travel insurance plans that are available and what type of policy might be best for you. And if you would like to look into travel insurance more and need more information, I will add a couple names of reputable companies in the description box below. You can also reach out to me directly at sharonatsea@gmail.com, and I can answer your questions there as well. Let's start why travel insurance is so important. Number 1, it covers trip cancellation. Even the best planned trips sometimes have to be canceled for many different reasons. But many travel providers, such as tour operators, cruise lines, and airlines, offer minimal to no refunds for the last-minute cancellations. If this happens, you can lose all the money you've spent on your trip. One of the best reasons to buy travel insurance is having the protection of trip cancellation coverage. This benefit can reimburse you for prepaid, non-refundable trip costs when you must cancel for a reason that is covered on your insurance. And if you have concerns that you may need to cancel for a reason not covered, you may want to purchase an additional coverage that includes canceling anytime for any reason. Now, these are upgrades to your policy and can be a bit pricey depending on the trip, but in some cases, it may be worth the extra cost. Next, most medical insurance policies will not cover you when you are outside of your home country. This is actually the number 1 reason my clients tell me that they purchase travel insurance. If you become seriously ill or hurt on a cruise ship or in another country and you have to be treated prior to arriving back home, don't expect your health insurance to help. Many foreign medical facilities and providers require a form of payment upfront and do not accept U.S. insurance plans. Even Medicare does not provide coverage outside of the United States. And remember, when you are on a cruise ship, you are considered outside of the United States. Number 3, because accidents can happen to anyone while traveling. Healthy travelers often think they don't need emergency medical insurance, but the truth is anyone can have an accident or an emergency. Whether it's some type of trauma or maybe you have a fall and you end up with a broken bone, it can be pricey if you have to pay out of pocket. Have you ever been traveling and witnessed a medical evacuation? We've all seen videos of someone being airlifted off a deck of a cruise ship. In some parts of the world, a medical evacuation can potentially cost 6 figures. Unexpected emergencies can happen to anyone, and when they do, they can be extremely costly. Number 4, travel delays and cancellations. Airlines on-time stats rise and fall during the course of a year. But at busy times, you may see up to 25% of flights having some sort of delay, and that doesn't even count all the flights that are being canceled. That's why travel insurance with travel delay benefits is important. It can reimburse you for additional accommodations, meals, travel costs, and lost prepaid expenses. You'll be much happier if you have insurance that can reimburse you for your family's airport dinner, an unexpected night at a hotel, or the cost of a non-refundable flight. Just remember to keep those receipts because you never know when you might need them. In a recent survey, more than half of travelers said they had lost their luggage in the past. 34% of them said they had a missing bag that they never received back. And of the 34%, 72 said they lost an irreplaceable item. Baggage delay benefits can reimburse you for the reasonable additional purchase of essential items during your trip if your baggage is delayed or misdirected by a common carrier for 24 hours or more. Baggage lost and damage benefits can reimburse you for the original price, actual cash value, repair, or replacement of the lost or damaged items based on the limits of your insurance policy. And a little tip to remember, the best place for truly irreplaceable items is in your carry-on luggage or at home. And lastly, number 6, peace of mind. One of the best reasons to buy travel insurance is the peace of mind you get for just knowing that help is a phone call away. Whether you face a crisis while traveling, a medical emergency, lost luggage, a stolen wallet, or even a natural disaster, travel insurance will have you covered and allow you to focus on the important things when traveling. And that might be like, hey, did I pack the right shoes for my formal dress? Now that we've gone over reasons why you may want to consider purchasing travel insurance, let's talk about what types of policies are offered and what policy may be best for you and explain how they work. But first, since you've made it this far into the video, I would love to invite you to subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click that notification bell so you won't miss out on any new videos we have coming up. Now, let's get back to the information that you're here for. I've talked about reasons for purchasing travel insurance. Now let's talk about types of policies to help you figure out what might be the best policy for you and your family members. I'm going to start with a plan that has become very popular with frequent travelers these days, and that is the annual plan. Even if you don't travel a lot, taking more than one vacation a year can make this plan financially beneficial for you. Annual plans can save you a lot of money over the course of a year versus purchasing multiple policies for each vacation you take. But they are not for everyone. If you are relatively healthy and looking for a policy to cover any unforeseen emergencies, this may be a plan for you. Here is how an annual plan works. Each plan has a set amount of coverage for medical evacuation, and other things such as trip delays, lost or damaged luggage, etc. Keep in mind that amount is for the entire year. So for example, if your medical coverage is $20,000, then you have that amount to spend over the course of the year, not just for each individual trip. If you end up having to use $10,000 on one trip, then you would have only $10,000 left for the rest of the year for your remaining travel. If you don't need to use any of the full amount, then you still have it available for your next trip. If you have concerns that the remaining coverage amount is not enough, you can always purchase additional plans on top of the remaining annual plan. Depending on what company you go with, there are a few different annual plans offered. Some companies only have one annual plan, while others have multiple options, with each option offering more coverage. Some may even offer a cancellation option. But keep in mind, along with more coverage comes a higher price tag. An annual plan will give you the peace of mind knowing that you have some coverage in the event of a medical emergency. And it can also save you quite a bit of money from purchasing separate plans for each trip. Now let's talk about individual plans. There are different plans for different circumstances depending on what your concerns are and what type of coverage you want. Some are focused more on medical, some on cancellation, and some are great for both. When you are looking for these plans, look for a policy that has a higher amount of coverage in the area that you are most concerned with. If you have health concerns and you worry about having complications or that you may need to be airlifted off a cruise ship to the local hospital, you may want to look at a plan that has a high emergency evacuation. Remember, evacuations can cost anywhere from $20,000 to over $100,000, and that's before any treatment has even begun. Also, many policies will have restrictions regarding pre-existing medical conditions based on when the policy was purchased compared to when the travel was originally booked. With most companies, when it comes to pre-existing conditions, you will have 14 days from the date you purchase the travel to purchase the insurance. But definitely check into this before purchasing to make sure that your needs are covered. Individual trip plans will offer different options depending on where you live. Pricing is based on location you live, age, and the price of your vacation. Most plans will give you an option to add on additional coverage in different areas as well. In addition to medical coverage, which is usually most people's main concern, most policies will cover the standard trip delay, lost, missing, or damaged luggage, epidemic coverage, which covers illnesses such as COVID, and even rental car theft or damage. But they all don't offer coverage for cancellation. So if you want cancellation on your policy, make sure to let them know when booking. And there is also a difference between cancellation and cancellation for any reason coverage. Most cancellation policies will have a designated list of reasons that they will cover. I mentioned I would share a few names of reputable insurance companies in the description box below the video, but I wanted to also mention that cruise lines will offer their own version of travel insurance as well. Cruise lines will offer insurance that can be added directly onto your cruise booking. For some, this is just the convenient way to do it, although in most cases, you may end up paying more for less coverage. One of the biggest areas of concern when purchasing cruise line insurance is the medical evacuation option. Quite often, I find that the amount of coverage offered by the cruise lines may not actually cover the full cost of an evacuation. So be sure to check this coverage before adding it to your cruise. Most people assume that if they get the coverage through the cruise line, everything will be automatically fully covered and they have nothing to worry about. But that is not the case. Finally, I want to end with two important tips and ones that I tell every one of my clients when purchasing travel insurance through the cruise line. Make sure to pay in full for the insurance at the time of adding it to your cruise if your deposit is non-refundable. So you are covered in the event of cancellation. On the other hand, if your deposit is refundable up until the final payment date is due, then I would suggest waiting and adding it closer to that final payment date. That way, if you cancel your cruise, any deposits made would be refunded to you from the cruise line and you won't lose the non-refundable cost of the travel insurance. Well, that about covers it for travel insurance today. I hope you found this video to be helpful and answered a few of the questions you may have about travel insurance. Also, yes, I am a travel agent and I specialize in booking cruises, and I would love to help you book your next cruise adventure and answer any of your travel insurance questions as well. Please email me at sharonatsea@gmail.com so we can start the planning today. Before you click out, be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell and share our video with family and friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.